It's time for Howie Carr's Hate Mail Monday. Let the hate flow through you.
At this time, every week we go through the fan mail, the mash notes, the voicemails of appreciation and kudos that are issued to me and to Grace Curley and to Taylor Cormier and Jared, Grace's producer. All of us receive lots of love, right, Grace?
Yeah, a lot of the people on the message boards and on the internet really are big fans of ours. So we like to share their take on us. And Howie, today is no exception. We have a lot to get to. So it's time for Hate Mail Monday, brought to you by Piantadosi Baking Company, celebrating over 100 years of baking excellence since 1916. I want to start with your most recent column, Howie. It was a whopper. You really did use all of the old sound from Charlie Baker that I know you were playing last week, and it got a lot of attention from people online. Do you want to add anything in about that column?
No, I just was waiting to hear some to hear some of the nice things that people were saying about me. I'm looking forward to it.
Usually you give some of the background on the column, but okay, here we go.
Oh, what we did was I just said it was like his press conferences have turned into Groundhog Day. It's the same thing every day. You know,
Exactly.
we're now in the second year of 15 days to flatten the curve.
This person on the message board titled Southie Shore wrote, Howie once again is full of lies and misinformation, but you rubes eat it all up. And another person wrote back, could you detail the lies and misinformation?
Exactly. Thank you.
And then another user wrote, yes, please cite one if you can. But Southie Shore never came back.
Southie Shore did a Dixie.
I mean, that column was full of lies and disinformation, but they were all within quotation marks.
They certainly were. And you know, I one of my neighbors down here read a lot of people read my columns down here, and he came up to me on Sunday after he read it. He said, "That was a great column, Howie, but you know what you're going to do? You're going to knock Charlie Parker out of the box, and then we're going to have Mara Healy." To which I responded, "And what exactly would the difference be?" And he had no response because there would be no difference. What does it matter?
Yeah, and I kind of feel like I'd rather have what's the expression about, I'd rather have a wolf than a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
Like, I'd rather know what I'm getting than have someone trying to bamboozle me.
Right.
All right, another person wrote, cue the has-been aggrievement shtick. Howie needs his clicks. So lame. Howie, please, for your own sake, do something else. Save yourself. It's not worth it.
Grace, are you able to comment on that column without clicking on it?
I don't believe so, no.
Interesting.
You know, who else is writing this stuff? I mean, this is not like, secret tapes that I'm getting. Everybody in the media, everybody in the country, in the world has access to this audio and this video. Why isn't someone else pointing out what a fraud this guy is?
Yeah, this isn't like Russian disinformation. This isn't something that can't be verified. He says this openly on camera.
Right. Over and over again. And Grace, did you know that the COVID vaccine is not taking the summer off?
I had heard that, actually.
And it's not leaving town either. And this the COVID virus is not taking the fall off either.
Howie, I was going to comment last week when you were doing your, what do we come to the conclusion it was called? The Charlie Parker jukebox?
Yes.
I was going to say that some of my favorites when I used to really watch those every day were when he would make comments about the red states and really disparage them. And he acted like everything was going to hell. He's like, well, we don't want to be like those red states. And I kept thinking to myself, what's so bad about that? Like, why don't we want to be like Florida?
Yeah. And then he said, I know some of you are getting tired of these pedantic lectures every day, but that's why we're so effective. That's why we're so effective. Charlie, we have the third highest death rate in the United States of America. For a while, we had the highest unemployment rate. We had the highest nursing home death rate until you suddenly, one day last week, changed the way the numbers are counted, so that we went from 9,000 nursing home deaths to 5,500 nursing home deaths. But everything's on the level. You can trust him. He's not like the others.
Howie, for the most part, though, I will say that your Charlie Parker columns do tend to go over really well in the comment section. There's not a lot of people who disagree with you. But one issue that you talk about on the air sometimes where we do get a lot of hate is when you comment on marijuana. So I wanted to play this sound cut for you. This is cut 3.
Listening to Howie talk about marijuana is like listening to Dianne Feinstein talk about guns. Or honestly, Joe Biden talking about anything.
Some people think you're out of touch when it comes to the ganja. And you do that.
That guy doesn't know me
voice.
very well, or he hasn't, or he doesn't know my background. I know
Howie,
a lot.
have you ever smoked?
I did once.
Did you inhale?
It was an experiment, you know. It was a very lengthy experiment. I think it started in 1968 and it went through to about, I don't know, early 90s.
No, really?
Come on. I'm telling you, I know it's not good. It's okay in moderation, like anything else. But, there are a certain number of people can't handle it, just like they can't handle alcohol or gambling or opioids or anything. And you're just going to increase the number of potheads lying on the couch when you legalize pot. It's a done deal. I'm not even going to complain about it anymore. I voted against it when I had a chance in the referendum.
When you came out of the fog?
All right. So, Howie, you also wrote a column, which didn't get a lot of hate, but there was one hate comment about your Martha's Vineyard porn case column. And I thought it was really interesting because this person was very angry with you. As usual, this article, I should set this up. Howie wrote a story. There was a house in Martha's Vineyard that was rented out and was used to film a porno.
Gay porn, not just one. I mean, dozens of gay porns.
So this is what this person writes on the message board.
And the owner didn't know that the place was being rented for that purpose. And now she's suing. Now she's suing.
As usual, this article from the loathsome Howie Carr tells us nothing about the legal case, but too much about his own hatreds, resentments, and prejudices. Mr. Carr proves once again what a pathetically small person he is. It seems that he actually enjoys choking on his own bile. The last part got graphic. I'm sorry.
That doesn't sound very pleasant to choke on one's bile.
And
I think probably what angered that guy was I mentioned that Gary Studs is still a big hero on Martha's Vineyard. He was the congressman from down there, even though it's now come out that he was a serial predator when he was a teacher at St. Paul's back in the 60s, and before he even sodomized the young congressional page that he was censured by the House of Representatives for. And he still has the Atlantic Ocean off of Cape Cod is named after him. They call it the Gary Studs National Monument. I mean, all these people have been, destroyed. Weinstein, Epstein, Lauer, even Cuomo is being knocked down to a peg, but Studs gets away with it. And I mentioned that. And I think Studs has these great defenders in certain communities, shall we say.
Howie, you also tweeted out about Earth Day this past week, and you tweeted out a column by the American Thinker, which goes over some of the failed predictions of the Earth, of our impending doom, as Rochelle Walensky would put it. And this person replied to your tweet and said, "There is a special place in hell for you, Howie. Trump supporters and climate change deniers are idiots. How dare you?"
Okay, that person was able to respond to that while wearing a mask.
Yeah, and that person was able to respond to that because despite what the predictions have told us, the Earth is still chugging along.
I wonder if he wrote it from New York City, which is supposed to have been underwater for 10 years now.
Yeah. Well, we all also died with what was the internet thing way back when?
Y2K.
Yeah. So, and net neutrality too. So we've all been zombies for quite some time, like 3 times over now. Howie, I have a hate mail from that lady who really, really hates me a lot. And then I have a couple of Herald hate comments that mention you as well. So let's play cut 5, please.
Howie, this is Hate Day Monday, and I hope this gets on the mail list. Nobody wants Grace. Nothing against that bimbo. Nothing against her. But she doesn't have brains enough to get out of romper room. But anyway, keep a zip on those big lips of yours.
Nothing against me, though. Just keep that in mind.
What a gracist she is.
Yes, she is. By the way, Howie, on my column about the mainstream media, which I was actually very proud of, if I do say so myself, Justin writes, so true. I was going to say the same thing because Gracie is a product of the Howie Carr School of Yellow Journalism, lecturing real journalists. Like her mentor, this fraud will never get a job at a respectful newspaper.
What is a respectable newspaper these days? The New York Times?
I know, the gray lady. I would rather not. Oh, and another person says, grasping grace. It's entertainers like you who pose as journalists, but whose sole motivation is to feed red meat to their audience for clicks. Once again, as Taylor pointed out, this person clicked on the article. That is the problem. You have zero moral or ethical compass. You've sold your soul, and the country suffers as a result.
You mean,
I feel bad. I didn't know.
When the New York Times was making up the stories about the Russian bounties on paying the Afghans Russian bounties on American soldiers, was that clickbait? Was making up the stuff about Trump saying "find the fraud" to the Georgia bureaucrat, which he never said, was that clickbait? How about the whole Russian collusion hoax thing? Was that clickbait? The Ukrainian phone call hoax, was that clickbait?
It's also weird that as someone who's grasping at straws and who's just an entertainer who's posing as a journalist, that my articles are making the country suffer. Like, which one is it? Do I have an impact or do I not? Anyway, Hate Mail Monday is brought to you by Piantadosi Baking Company, celebrating over 100 years of baking excellence since 1918.
All right. Thank you, Grace. I appreciate it. A mother is someone who loves you with all her heart. So whether it's your own mom, a stepmom, or a strong mom figure, this Mother's Day, celebrate all of the amazing women in your life with gorgeous bouquets from 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, 1-800-Flowers is offering 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for $34.99. We have a rose bouquet from 1-800-Flowers here in the studio. It is beautiful. Everything is so fresh. The quality is perfect. It's just really, really lovely. And all the it's in my office right now, and all the women in the studio come by and ask about it. It really impresses everyone.
And Howie, can I just add in for people, especially the sons out there, your mom's going to tell you she doesn't want anything, and if you don't get her something, she will be upset. So you should order her some flowers.
There is nothing sadder than seeing somebody running around a supermarket looking for the leftover roses or tulips or whatever on Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. It's just a sad sight.
It's a tragic sight to be seen. It really is.
You don't want to be that guy. This gorgeous bouquet of 24 roses in an assortment of bright colors is guaranteed to show all the moms in your life just how much they're loved. I can't wait to send a 1-800-Flowers bouquet to the mailroom manager because, again, she says she doesn't want one, but I will be dining on hot tongue and cold shoulder if I don't get her one. And so will you if you don't get your mom one. 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for $34.99 is an amazing offer. So order before Wednesday. The offers are going to get less, are going to get more and more pricey as time goes on. You know that. That's the way it always is. So order now. Don't put it off. This is the best chance you're going to get a bunch of flowers for a reasonable price. Beautiful flowers. Order today from the official florist of Mother's Day. 1-800-Flowers.com to order those 24 multicolored roses plus a free vase for $34.99. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click the radio icon, and enter code Howie. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code Howie. I'm Howie Carr.
Got hate mail?
You got anything on your chest besides your chin, you better get it off.
Send it off to Grace at HowieCarrshow.com.